Passer in the CFL, but things have looked a little different lately. 2 straight losses after a 5-1 start. Willie's trying to put the win back in Winnipeg tonight on Friday Night Football.
Welcome to Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN. Tonight, Al, Bombers, come on in.
Let's get ready to go. Boys are all here, gonna put on a show. Show us your colors. Say get ready to go. It's Friday Night Football. It's Friday Night, you know.
Spectacular! The stadium is rolling. Is it Friday already?
So show us your colors, going coast to coast. Friday Night Football on TSN. Let's go.
And then there's Montreal running back Brandon Whitaker, just 10 yards shy of the league rushing league, and up against a defense that has certainly been struggling against the run this year. Could Whitaker play a big role in the Owls' quest for win number 2? Hi there, and welcome back to the CFL on TSN Wendy's Friday Night Football. I'm Rod Smith along with Milt Stiegel, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. It is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers hosting the Montreal Alouettes tonight. The Owls nearly had their second win of the season back in week 3. They led in the final minute against Winnipeg and Montreal, and then Drew Willie Schultz led them back, and that's it. Winnipeg went to 3-0. Quarterback change for the Bombers last week, and Alex Brink comes in. Now, they still lost that game. They didn't do a lot on the scoreboard, but signs of progress in that offense, do you think?
Listen, a but means something every now and then when you quantify it as the success that Montreal had in creating a rhythm. What is a rhythm in offense? It's just a series of successes back to back to back. Alex Brink had that. 17 completions. They ran 33 plays. They won the time of possession. They faded in the second half. But, Matt, if you can do it in the first half, you can do it in the second half. I'm optimistic for the offense of the Owls.
I'm optimistic for the Montreal Alouettes. I think they're going down the right direction. I think they're going down the right path. Whether it's Alex Brink or not, I think they're making improvements offensively, trying to iron out the problems that were there, and certainly there are plenty of them, and they cost Troy Smith his job. Now it's Alex Brink's opportunity. I think Garcia is putting a little bit of simplicity back in this offense, giving those quarterbacks, no matter who it is, an opportunity to be successful. Milt, I know you're shaking your head. I can see it. They got the defense, they got good teams, and they got great people on offense. Just got to find the right guy in the system.
Did we watch the same game last week, or was I watching a different game?
It was a defensive game, so I understand that
they scored 4 points. They had 11 total, but that was the Ron Carter return to misfit. 4 points. They didn't get any better.
They look good.
They lost the game. They had 11 points.
It's been like that a lot this year, Milt.
Why they getting better?
They look good.
Oh my goodness, right there.
Two teams trying to put the brakes on losing skids. Clash tonight in Winnipeg. It's the Montreal Alouettes and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers from Investors Group Field.
Well, as we kick off Week 9 in the Canadian Football League, you're looking at the leading rusher in the CFL, and Nick Grigsby for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, just ahead of Andrew Harris. And in the third spot on the other sideline tonight, we feature 2 good running backs because Brandon Whitaker sits at number 3 in the rushing title.
Well, the Alouettes suffered their 5th consecutive loss last Saturday, but Tom Higgins saw some positives in that game and feels that they are close to a breakout. While on the other sidelines, Michael O'Shea's Winnipeg Blue Bombers lost 2 games in 5 days and are coming off a 9-day break to reboot, try and get back in the win column and avoid falling below 500 at home. These two teams met in Week 3. It might be the game of the year so far. 34-33. Bombers won it. And when Winnipeg and Montreal meet, a lot of wacky things happen. Let's see if that trend continues tonight. Sean White's got it on the tee. Troy Studemeyer, Paris Cotton are back. And we're underway. And it will be Cotton up across the 30-yard line. New uniforms for the Bombers. Troy Studemeyer, the return. There's Drew Willie leading the Bombers out.
Number 2 in the CFL in passing is Drew Willie. He's got his starting receiver core back. Corey Watson returned last week, but just played basically special teams. He gets Nick Moore back in the lineup. He missed 3 games, I should say. And Clarence Denmark has been his number 1 receiver, over 500 yards. The receivers that started the season are back in the lineup tonight.
Starters to watch brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard. Nick Grigsby with the cutback, and there's room on the far side, and Billy Parker will slice him down and prevent him from turning the corner.
When a team is struggling, you look to your veterans to try and kickstart the comeback. And for the Montreal Alouettes on defense, that means Chip Cox leads the team in tackles with 31. It means the big striker and Kyrus Hebert. He's got to step up and have a huge game. And John Bowman tied for second behind John Chick in sacks with 7. Had a couple last week against Saskatchewan.
Grigsby ends up with 6, 2nd and 4. Quick hitter intended for Aaron Kelly is incomplete, no flag, and a 2-and-out to start the game.
2 big plays from Billy Parker start the game defensively for Montreal. Came up and made the tackle on Nick Grigsby. Looked like he had a big gain, or potential for a big gain on first down. He cut him down and then gets that knockdown on second down.
So Liram Hairolahu, who you saw in Brian Williams' feature prior to the game, gets set to punt. And Larry Taylor returning to the Alouette lineup, awaiting. Taylor from his 30. And he gets drilled, knocked down by Chris Randall after a short return. And Alex Brink, the former Bomber, will take over for Montreal.
Yep, former Bomber, played 7 games, started 7 games for the Bombers between 2010 and 2012, won 3 of them. Brandon Whitaker will see a ton of the football tonight, especially when you consider how the Bombers are playing defensively against the run. Jerron Carter had the big missed field goal return for a touchdown against the Rough Riders.
Starting at the 34-yard line, 4-man rush. Brick stands in underneath. Brandon Whitaker for just about a yard.
One of the starters for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on defense. I put Ian Wild on here because Ian Wild plays middle linebacker. And when you're trying to shore your run game or stopping the run defensively, that's the guy you got to lean on. So it's going to be Ian Wild. Take a look in that secondary. The leader has been Chris Randall on the short side, and Damon Washington could do it all. I mean, he's great in the return game.
Big question is, can they stop the run? A passing down here. 2nd and 9. Brink stands in underneath. Eric Delorier catch, but well short of the first down. So these 2 teams that both opened with touchdowns in week 3 on their first possessions are both 2-and-out tonight.
Talked about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers wanting to start to play better at home and 500 at home and start to win some games here and give the crowd that's been behind them a sellout in the Saskatchewan game here. Give them something to cheer about.
Great opening game for Studemeyer as a punt returner for the Bombers. Takes this one at his 24. A couple stutter steps, but he's surrounded. Can he escape? No. Taken down by a wave of Alouettes. Drew Willie with Nick Moore back in his arsenal when we return to Winnipeg. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Pretzel Bacon Cheeseburger and Pretzel Pub Chicken. Back for a limited time. Wendy's. Now that's better. Bombers start at their 25-yard line. And they go with 6 receivers as Grigsby left the backfield. Corey Watson inside. Not a whole lot there as he's taken down quickly, but that final drive when they met in week 3 is as good as it gets for Drew Willie.
Game ended 34-33, win for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The last 6 games, as a matter of fact, between these two teams have been decided in the last 3 minutes. A great drive by Drew Willie. That was a 3rd down throw for a touchdown to Fiole Gaduli, and Michael O'Shea's group wins a close one.
Converted twice on 3rd down. In fact, the touchdown was on 3rd and 10. Here's a pass over the middle. Watson can't hang on. Mike Edom breaks it up to safety, who gets the start in place of the injured Marc-Olivier Bouillette.
And I talked to the Alouette coaching staff about Mike Edom playing in the middle and what they expect from him. He said that he's an aggressive guy, loves to come downhill. Will come downhill and will play physical style of football. That was Chip Cox dropping as well beside him, and he gets inside and nice knockdown. Another 2 and out for the Bombers.
Like Corey Watson was suggesting, let Michael O'Shea throw the challenge flag. None forthcoming.
A little early for that, I would think.
Taylor at his 40. So on the first exchange of punts, the Alouettes improved their field position a little bit. Awaiting the game's first down when we come back to Winnipeg. On TSN is brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Alex Brink completed his first 5 passes last week in Saskatchewan. Was a good first quarter, except Sean White missed a field goal. Brandon Whitaker fumbled at the 10, and the touchdown drought continued. Here's the toss to Whitaker, and he gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Teague Sherman stepping up from his 9 linebacker spot.
Well, we mentioned off the top, Alex Brink, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, started 7 games, was 3 and 4 as a starter, completed just shy of 60% of his passes and was cut loose. And the Bombers organization going in a different direction, gets his opportunity. I had a great talk with him before the game, and he knows the window's small, but he's looking forward to trying to lead this team and prove to the organization that he can be the guy.
See what he's got on 2nd and 16. 3-man rush. He's going to air it out, looking for Duron Carter, and incomplete. Nearly brought it down in a good battle with Chris Randall. Carter's been hot of late with 17 catches in the last 2 games.
Yeah, he has, but that's one of the reasons, Chris, I put Chris Randall down as a guy to watch, because number one, you're going to get this matchup with Duron Carter, who's been hot against one of the good short side corners in the CFL. In fact, probably an underrated corner who doesn't get enough credit. Carter had that ball. Chris Randall ripped it out on the way down.
So White to kick, and this one fielded on the bounce by Studemeyer. And he'll get escorted out of bounds inside the Winnipeg 35-yard line. The leading rusher in the league is Nick Grigsby. He gets set to go back to work with the Bomber offense when we come back. Drew Willie leads the league in passes of 30 yards or more coming into this game. He had 1 in week 3 against the Alouettes.
Yeah, he's still been able to do that. He lost Nick Moore, maybe his number 1 target. He and Clarence Denmark for 3 games. Gets Nick Moore back tonight. So I expect him to continue to stretch the field a little bit and push that ball deep. He's been successful so far this year with it.
First down, play action, pocket collapsing, but gets it away, and Denmark wide open on the near side. Clarence Denmark, who comes into the game second in receiving 3rd in catches, has a big 31-yarder, and there's the 14th big play of the year for Drew Willie of 30 yards or more.
You know, absolutely. Now, a couple things have to work well for you offensively to get this done. First of all, you have to have that protection up front. Drew Willie does off the play action to step into that pocket. Nice pocket formed by the offensive line. Now, he has 2 seam routes. One down the middle is a Nick Moore, who's going to influence the defense now that he's back, and that leaves Clarence Denmark open on the sideline.
Now a handoff inside, and Grigsby meets up with the middle linebacker, Bear Woods, and gets pushed back. So in the last series, we saw Chris Randall make a play on Duron Carter, and now we see Clarence Denmark with a catch, and those two guys worked out extra this week, Denmark and Randall, in preparation for this game, and that hard work is already paying dividends.
Last two games for Clarence Denmark, 12 catches, 206 yards. So them working on their game throughout the last couple of weeks is paying off in a big way.
2nd and 8. Empty it out again. 6 receivers out. Willie underneath. Pass incomplete. Almost intercepted by Gerald Brown.
You know, Gerald Brown and Billy Parker, Jeff Tisdale, they get up here and they get up in press coverage. And they're saying right now we're going to play man-to-man, press coverage, get up in your chili, and we're going to just play right on the line of scrimmage. Makes it tough to get the ball in there. The windows are small.
Alouettes a little slow to get out, as I think they were anticipating a field goal opportunity. Man, play hadn't been whistled in. The Bombers were trying to get that play off quickly.
Looked like Kenny Stafford for Montreal wasn't on the field. He came out late.
Irulahu, who replaced Mike Renault earlier in the year, has yet to pin a team inside the 10. That's what he's looking for here. Larry Taylor back. This one's got a chance. And he does. Oh, it just bounces past the cone and in for a single. And the elusive pin, he does not get here. But the Bombers score one. Saraleski with more on Alex Brink when we come back. Well, Alex Brink looking forward to this opportunity, but knows there's a short leash with more. Here's Sarah.
Well, thank you, Chris. Yes, Alex Brink starting the game tonight, but don't be surprised if we see Jonathan Crompton in this game. Tom Higgins told me that it is entirely possible that we will see Crompton, and if so, it will be by design. They had wanted to get him into the game last week in Saskatchewan, but after Brink had the strong first half, they decided to keep Brink in terms of momentum. But he says that he is a fan of the 2-quarterback system until one quarterback establishes himself as the starter.
Well, they're looking for a guy to replace Anthony Calvillo, and Jonathan Crompton has a skill set that would suggest he's a contender. But you wonder, for Alex Brink's sake, splitting reps, preparing, does it give him best chance? This is a guy that can give him a good chance. Brandon Whitaker on the ground off the left side.
Yeah, I talked to Alex Brink before the game about that. I said, you know, it's sort of a different opportunity in that you have been splitting reps with Jonathan Crompton, and he said, yeah, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a challenge. This is a real prestigious job. Starting quarterback in Montreal. Remember the guy who had it for all those years and what he accomplished. I want to win that job, so I don't care if it's one series, one game, or a half. It doesn't matter. I got to take full advantage of it when I get out there. He's ready for this challenge. Now he just needs to get a couple first downs, get things going.
Needs 6 for a first down here. Short drop. They swing it out. There's Whitaker with a cutback, but he's going to be stopped short. Abe Kroma into the lineup for the Bombers, replacing the injured Ejiro Kuali in on the tackle. Man, it's going to be 3rd, and looks like over a yard. Might have a decision from Tom Higgins here.
Whitaker just on that bunch, in that bunch formation, opens up in the flat and a little screen pass,
and they are going to go for it. Tom Higgins, whose decisions last week were highly scrutinized, didn't go for a 2-point convert with about 3 minutes to go to tie. Then went for it on 3rd and 4, is going 3rd and 1 here. Tanner Marsh with the plunge and a pretty good surge. Did the ball come loose at the end of it?
I'm not sure about this decision either.
Luc Brodeur-Jourdain, the center, got a decent push. I thought he had it initially, and Alex Brink's back on the field, anticipating it is a first down.
They are moving the chains, so it doesn't look like they're even going to come in and measure this one, so he did get it. Whether he got it or not, I'm not sure about the decision. I mean, I think this early in the football game, it's a huge gamble. A lot can be lost if you don't get that yard, and it was a full yard.
They had to get to the 45, and the ball just beyond the 45-yard line. So the initial first down, Brick back to pass. Here comes the heat. He'll take off a underhand throw that's complete to Delorier. He caught it. It will be a loss, but Alex Brink bought a few extra yards and avoids the sack.
Didn't like what he saw. That would have been a coverage sack had the Bombers got there. He had time to throw initially. In fact, looked to the short side of the field, went to his second read, didn't like that, and then the pressure started to get to him. And there's the underhand throw, which is a forward pass, by the way.
They lost 3, but they avoid a Greg Peach sack. 2nd and 13. 5 receivers out underneath Deron Carter. Damon Washington closes quickly and brings him down short of the first down at the 50. Good speedy matchup between Carter and Washington.
You know, one thing I've noticed out of the gate here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers is that they're tackling well early in this game. Whether it be the run to Brandon Whitaker a couple of times, team on a 2-game losing streak and wanting to shore up their run defense, but they've tackled well in the open field.
White blasts the punt, sends Studemeyer back inside his 10. Darrell Townsend was down, and so is Winston Venable, the special team leader in tackles for Montreal. Big 53-yard punt for Sean White that sends Drew Willie back inside his 10-yard line.
I took a look at Drew Willie's game again when he was trying to bounce back from a loss against Saskatchewan here in Winnipeg. You go into Toronto on a Tuesday and they play there. I thought he had really sort of shook off the issues he had with turnovers against the Riders. He went 10 of 11 in the first half against Toronto, and then it just sort of went off the rails a little bit as the game went on.
First down, pressure coming. Willie in trouble, and Aaron Lavarius has got him back around the 1-yard line. Jermaine McIlvain there as well.
Aaron Lavarius back in his natural position. Bear Woods plays in the middle linebacker spot. He was out due to injury, so he's back in the middle. Lavarius goes back to that rush end position, and he ends up getting home. But you're right, there was some pressure coming.
Venable was sent, and Lavarius chalks up his 4th sack of the season. So 2nd and 14, and Willie in his end zone with the heat coming again. Dumps it off underneath Grigsby. Bear Woods first contact, and Kyrie Bear brings him down at the 5. It's another 2 and out.
I don't think there's any question here that Michael O'Shea will have to give up 2 points. I'd be very surprised to see him punt the ball deep out of his own end zone and have Montreal take the ball in basically field goal range.
Just a first down for each so far. Larry Taylor awaits at the Bomber 45 if they opt for the punt.
Getting ready,
and they are going to kick it out. And it's a pretty good boot, driving Taylor back to the Montreal 50. Back across midfield, and good position at the Winnipeg 50. Good punt, 53 yards by Hairulahu. Alex Brink back to work with some experience here in Winnipeg.
I feel like I was in a very tough situation in an organization that at the time was in a stage of transition. You know, you see now, you know, a lot of the folks I dealt with from a management standpoint are no longer here, and I think there's a reason for that. And so, you know, they're obviously doing a lot of great things here now, and you know, I look back at my time here and feel like that I learned a lot from that experience.
Interesting comments, Brandon Whitaker, and boy, they are starting against the run to start. Ian Weil in on that stop on Whitaker.
Well, listen, the Bomber organization saw something in Alex Brink when they brought him in, former NFL draft pick and guy who played at Washington State, but he's got to take advantage of his opportunities, and that means a first down here. First down here is field goal range.
Michael O'Shea didn't concede the safety, made me thinking, Montreal's not done anything on offense against my defense.
I'm still a little surprised because a 6-yard gain here, 8-yard gain here, and they're kicking a field goal for 3.
Second and 9, underneath, that ball tipped. Brandon London after it, and was it caught? Incomplete. Off the hands of Kenny Stafford, who had a second chance at it as that ball bounced around, but
you're right, Chris. I mean, that's exactly, I'm sure, what Michael O'Shea thought. He said, Alex Brink has not moved the football against my defense. I'm going to have confidence in them, punt the ball out of my own end zone, and force him to make at least one first down. Now he got a huge kick, which helped.
So the 6th 2 and out of this first quarter. Sean White will look for the corner off the side of his foot, and so the field position shift is a big one. Because not only is that a short punt, but it's an illegal punt that they'll tack on yards. And there's one for the coach that didn't concede. 15 yards, the length of the punt by Sean White.
Legal punt, out of bounds. Montreal, number 6. 10-yard penalty from where it went out of bounds.
Wow.
First down, Winnipeg.
That couldn't have worked better for Michael O'Shea, that sequence of plays.
Bombers take over at the 44. Reminder, CFL on TSN action continues tomorrow. Argos and Eskimos at Commonwealth. Ricky Ray going after 50,000 yards in his old stomping grounds. Live coverage gets underway 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific here on TSN, tsn.ca, TSN Go. Mike Riley's group having a terrific year. Here's Pombriand out of the backfield. Jeff Tisdale takes him down. Big fullback with a catch. And good first down yardage for the Bombers.
Well, it's something to be said about that decision by O'Shea, because first of all, it gives your team some confidence to say, go ahead and kick it. We're not giving up anything. Relied on his defense to get the 2 and out. They did. Got a bad punt from the Montreal kicker. They get the field position right back. I mean, that couldn't have worked out any better.
Had on a 53-yard punt by Hairulahu out of his end zone.
Yeah.
So it all worked the way the coach anticipated it could. Here's Grigsby with the flag down. He would have a first down.
Now Michael Cash is getting up, clapping his hands as if he was held.
Man, until the illegal punt, I don't think we'd seen a flag in this first quarter, and now
Holding, Winnipeg, number 62. It's a 10-yard penalty, remaining second down.
holding call against the center, Steve Morley.
Morley was okay initially when Cash came up the field. There's Cash, there's Morley. But as Cash tried to react and slide to the run here to Grigsby, he gets held around the jersey and the shoulder pads.
So 2nd and 14. Julian Fioli-Gadino has checked into the offense. Willie, few jab steps, now throws over the middle. It's complete, and Nick Moore has the catch. He's missed 3 with a foot injury, but is back. And it's a 26-yard reception and a Bomber first down. Tight defensive battle to start. It ends with a big play from Willie to his favorite target early this year, Nick Moore. The Alouettes were encouraged by their first quarter in Saskatchewan. I don't think they're encouraged by what we see on the board after 15 minutes here.
Well, both teams aren't really moving the ball very well. Both defenses stepping up in the first quarter. 2 plays for 57 yards for Winnipeg. That's most of their yards in just 2 plays. And Alex Brink was the story coming in as to whether or not he could seize this opportunity. And he hasn't in the first quarter yet. He's got to get something going offensively for Montreal.
Let's give that Bomber defense that's been under scrutiny for the past 9 days after the back-to-back games where they gave up big yardage on the ground. But you've mentioned they've been sharp in their tackling so far, and Montreal hasn't been able to really put a dent in that rush defense of Michael O'Shea's.
Well, Their head coach knows a thing or two about tackling.
Well, first down after that catch by Moore. Grigsby inside. And he has about 3. Looked like Alan Michael Cash was the first to slow him down. Grigsby leading the league in carries and yardage and touchdown runs.
They're coming in at just a 6-yard lead over Andrew Harrison, BC, and Brandon Whitaker close behind as well. That rushing derby.
And Grigsby with 10 so far tonight. Second down, Willie over the middle. It's intercepted. Mike Edom's got the interception on the overthrow. Noel Thorpe has said the Alouettes need more takeaways, and Mike Edom provides one here.
Yeah, I did talk to the defensive coordinator, Noel Thorpe, before the game and asked him about that. He said, boy, we've had opportunities. He said, Jeff Tisdale has dropped a couple. He said, you know, we've had opportunity. Gerald Brown has had a touchdown if he hangs on to an interception a week ago. He said, we just got to finish those plays off because we're not playing bad defensively. Now we get those takeaways going and we can turn a game. And maybe this is something that'll give Montreal some big-time momentum, and the offense can pick it up from here.
So Eden replacing Boyette at safety comes through with the interception, just the 4th interception for the Alouettes this year. And the only other Alouette in the lineup tonight with an interception is Jeff Tisdale. When January, the left tackle, injured on the play, and while he gets attention, will step out.
You just won a breeze movie.
End sets of Toronto. As they ran the double tight end sets, they created an extra gap, and it was hard to run the ball. Take a look here. It was easy for them to run the ball. Excuse me. You got 6 guys here on 7. You got better numbers for the offense, and the extra players farther away. You get good push up to the second level. They missed tackles, which we know that the coaches talked about being better at. Now there's a second clip here. Same thing. They've got 8 guys at the line of scrimmage on 7, so you're going to win that battle offensively. So they've done a good job of that, guys. What are you seeing upstairs? Stopping the run.
Just saw it on that first play, as the Alouettes have not been able to establish a run game, and Jonathan Crompton now will try and establish some offense for Montreal as he takes over in the second quarter.
Former Edmonton Eskimo out of Tennessee gets his opportunity in the second quarter.
451 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Last year, the former Tennessee Volunteer looks at 2nd and 8. Pressure from Peach off the edge. Crompton's going to take off, try and run for the first down, and near the chain lunges out of bounds. Looks like he may have it.
Well, he'll be very close for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Everybody back up.
Played in 7 games in 2013. You mentioned the yards. He was about just over 50% his completion percentage as an Edmonton Eskimo in the games he played in.
Going to have a measurement as they bring the chains across the field. They marked him out at the 50-yard line.
Tanner Marsh already going on the field for the short yardage, so all 3 quarterbacks have taken snaps.
And again, Crompton took a good portion of the reps this week as he gets ready. A guy that looked like he might be part of the future in Edmonton until Mike Riley said, no, it's my job. And Riley establishing himself in Edmonton with the emphasis Montreal's waiting for a quarterback to establish themselves with the Alouettes.
And we will see. I mean, Jeff Garcia is right behind Alex Brink. I had a nice conversation with him. He's working with the quarterbacks. Of course, Troy Smith started the season's on the 6-game injured. He thinks that these 3 quarterbacks are capable. Just which one will seize the opportunity?
I think he's capable.
I asked him about that. We can get to that.
Well, Tanner Marsh trying to sneak for a first down again, and a good plunge again behind Luc Brodeur-Jourdain. Christian Matt, the left guard.
I did ask Jeff Garcia. I've got that question across the country many, many times. And will Garcia put the pads back on? And I asked him, he said, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, Glenn, but he said, it's different to be in shape when you're throwing in practice with the quarterbacks with no pads on than it is to be out here with 26-year-olds trying to run you down and hit you. I don't think so.
Crompton with heat on, swings it out. Catch is made by Whitaker, who cuts it across midfield to the Winnipeg 50-yard line.
Just small things on that play. It seems like a pretty routine play for a quarterback, but Jonathan Crompton kept his eyes down the field when he took the snap long enough to hold the defense. His eyes are going to be straight down the field this way, just long enough to hold the defense from flying out there to Whitaker too long. See how he holds it? Then he dumps it off to him. It's a veteran move.
A lot of options on 2nd and 2. 4 receivers wide side. Duron Carter on the near side stays in the block, and Whitaker will be stopped short. Teague Sherman shoots the gap and makes another tackle.
Our coach, Lapo, asked what we're seeing up here when it comes to the run stopping for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I'm seeing a couple things. One, they're tackling way better. I mean, Michael O'Shea knows that tackling is the key component. Sounds simple, sounds pretty basic, but that's the fundamentals of football. So they've been sound tackling so far, but they're attacking the line of scrimmage as well. Rather than sitting, catching blocks and waiting to react to the run, they're attacking the line, beating blocks.
So a team that has surrendered 360 yards rushing in the past 2 games has allowed only 13 so far tonight. White to better boot. Corner Studemeyer works his way up to the 15. Before he is tossed down, we do have a flag on the play.
Studemeyer might have let that go in the end zone and see if it would have gone for a single.
Nicholas Boulay on the tackle.
The rule of thumb is if you're a returner standing on the 10 and the ball is coming right to you there or over your head and you have to back up, you let it go to see if it goes in the end zone early in a ball game.
On the return, illegal block. Winnipeg, half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the field position issues continue for Michael O'Shea. Bombers on offense when we come back. Well, it's been a tough week for us as we say goodbye to one of the best in the biz. 26 years at TSN. Paul Hemming, who's directed 6 Grey Cups, all the World Junior Hockey Championships you've watched over the years, is moving on. Such a great director that he even left us his parting shot. But he is going to be missed, and he has made an enormous impact on the CFL, on TSN, and a good guy to boot.
Yeah, and I would say the best director in North America, let alone Canada, and the Grey Cups that he's produced, and the stories I could tell about our road trips together, and he's a great friend. Well, I couldn't tell.
1-0 game.
I couldn't tell on the air, but I could tell one day in the book.
Flag down as John Bowman crashed off the end position to Barry Grigsby, who's been shaken up.
But I tell you what, right now, with the commissioner's news this week and the talk about television ratings and TSN's influence on this league and sort of as a legacy point.
Offside. Montreal number 31. It's a 5-yard penalty. Will remain first down.
It's been a little offside.
It's guys like Paul Hemming that have built this product to where it is today. I mean, guys that are in the trenches that have great passion for Canadian football, put it first, want to make the league look as great as they can. Chopper, as we call them, is the best in the business.
1st and 5. Handoff inside. Bowman in the area again. That ball came loose. Do the Alouettes get on it? Looks like Winnipeg gets it back. And it is 2nd down.
John Bowman starting to make a statement of his own here. Couple of plays back to back.
Big number 7 did not have a stat in the first meeting, but he's been chalking up stats since then.
Well, he's playing that run well also, and I'm not so sure he wasn't the guy who knocked the ball out of the hands there of Grigsby, who grabbed it back.
Just got it back out of the grasp of Winston Venable. So 2nd and 5. Quick hitter, and the ball incomplete. There's Chip Cox on the scene with the breakup on the pass intended for the Montreal product, Corey Watson.
That's why I put these guys as the players to watch. Montreal Alouettes have been struggling. When you're struggling, you got to lean on your veterans. You have your veterans step up. Your star players be your best players on the field. We just saw John Bowman make 2 plays, back-to-back downs, and on second and long, Chip Cox gets the knockdown. Kyrus bears the next one. His turn's up soon, I'm sure.
Cox, the top defensive player in the CFL in 2013, and from his goal line, this one by Hairulahu, not as good a kick, and it will be scooped up by Larry Taylor at the Bomber 48-yard line. So Jonathan Crompton's got good field position to work with when we come back to Winnipeg. Well, this was the focus in Winnipeg coming into this game. The vulnerability the last couple of games against the run for the Bombers, but looks like they have solved the issues.
Yeah, almost got to 200 yards a game, and you look at the previous 6, they were below 100, so playing much better in that regard so far tonight.
In the 3 losses, they conceded over 170 yards rushing. Here's Whitaker trying to add to the totals, but the safety Maurice Leggett with a quick stop to that. And Michael O'Shea did not believe that his team couldn't stop the run.
There's 2 reasons why run plays make yards, and that's you're either out of your gap or you've missed a tackle. And when they're big yards, it's probably because somebody's out of their gap and you miss tackles. So if we are conscientious in terms of our assignment and we are more diligent on our tackling, then I imagine we'll be just fine.
So refuting the theory that maybe the Bombers are too small on defense, here's Crompton with a gun, and he gets it to Deron Carter, a big first down completion, and Crompton looks good there.
Boy, he threw a dart. I mean, he drops back and puts this ball right on Deron Carter. He's running that dig route from the short side wide receiver spot where Carter's lined up all game tonight, and he just runs that in, hits him right across the middle in front of Chris Randall. So Randall's got a knockdown. Carter gets his catch. 1-1.
17 yards and a first down to the Winnipeg 29. Fake to Whitaker. Hitch to Carter. Inside. Makes the first man miss. And then gets pushed out by Damon Washington.
The other thing that the Bombers are doing defensively, again with that run defense in mind, is to run blitz on first down. If the Montreal Alouettes go to pass on first down like they just did there to Deron Carter, they're still in that blitz mode, so they're still coming after Crompton anyway. They just pass by, they just run right by the running back on the way to the quarterback. So Gary Epstein is doing a little bit of that to get some more guys in the box. As Paul LaPolice mentioned, outnumber the offense.
2nd and 4. Whitaker off the right side, crashing down inside the 20, where he will be close to the first down.
But you mentioned it, Chris. I think it's a great point that, there was some concern. Was this linebacking core in Winnipeg too small? Deja Dunn is in at under 200 pounds at 5'9". Teek Sherman is at 5'11", under 200 pounds. Those are your starters, and your middle linebacker at 208, and Ian Wild. So that was sort of a concern, and people talking about, is this linebacking core too small to stop the run? And Michael O'Shea said absolutely not. It's about gap cancellation, good tackling, do your assignment, alignment, assignment, execution, and effort.
A lot of defenses look small up against 245-pound Jerome Messam. That's a good point. First down for the Alouettes. Jonathan Crompton, the 6th quarterback, trying to, including Anthony Calvillo, to play since week 8 last year when the search was on. Calvillo hurt in week 7. As you can see, red zone's an issue.
They have to improve in that stat.
3 for 9 in there now. Crompton dancing, and now they're out of the red zone. Tossed down on the sack. Brian Turner gets home. 4th sack of the year.
Brian Turner lines up inside. Well, just muscles his way past Christian Matt. Just almost a bull rush, but swats him out of the way with that big right arm. And Crompton almost lost the handle.
Did he ever? Loss of 11. Second and 21. Crumpton, ball tipped, incomplete. Intended for S.J. Green.
Yeah, that was what's called an over and under route, and it looked like, did Kenny Stafford get in the throwing lane on the under and affect the throw? In fact, was it him that touched it? Over and under is basically like this, an under and an over in behind it. S.J. Green was the over, the under was Stafford, and it almost looked like, yeah, he was the problem.
Or the intended target who just dropped it.
Yeah, good point. Could have been either one, but it was sort of in between.
So Sean White from 37 yards out, and the Alouettes have the lead.
Sean White's 37-yard field goal is good. With 5 minutes and 53 seconds left on that time.
So Crumpton generates a field goal to get Tom Higgins' crew on top. Let's check in with Sarah Waleski.
Well, Chris, heading into this week, the two of the top 3 rushers in the CFL so far are playing in this game with the Bombers' Nick Grigsby as well as Brandon Whitaker for the Alouettes. Here is something, though, that has never happened before. Nick Grigsby currently leading the league in rushing, while the Bombers are last in the league in rushing. They are averaging only 70 yards per game, and yet heading into this week, Grigsby finds himself on top of the rushing chart.
It is interesting where your team could be that far down the list, but your starting tailback is leading the pack. It is, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers haven't had their bye. They'll get that in the second half. They'll get their 2 bye weeks in the second half of the season. So some teams have played one less game than Winnipeg. However, you take a look at right now, Nick Grigsby is your leader. And he's 7th in yards per game in the rushing list.
Bombers opt for the return. They want to get the ball in Studemeyer's hands, and he gets it right back to where they could have started at the 35. But you see how dangerous he can be.
Well, absolutely. But I got to make one point, Chris, about the decision by Michael O'Shea to punt the ball out of his own end zone twice now. Once it couldn't have worked better for him. The next time he did it, it turned into 3 points. And again, that's the fine line you're walking in that decision. The field position versus giving the team the football in field goal range.
Mike Edom has taken a knee. And this is a problem spot for the Alouettes with the incumbent starter Brouillette on the sidelines. So they'll have to make another adjustment.
Andrew Liu out of Queens is getting the final instructions from Noel Thorpe on the sideline. Tom Higgins is...
So a young guy is going to get thrown into the mix. Because of ratio issues, they may have to go with the rookie Andrew Liu. Kyrie Seber's played some safety.
Well, and they can, he'll rotate back, as will Chip Cox. So you won't see Lou always in the deep middle. Although whenever you get a young player in his first year thrown into the action this early, you watch how deep sometimes these guys line up. Sometimes you'll see him about 20 yards back.
Well, he's been on the teams, and now he's right in the heat of the battle. First down Bombers, handoff Paris Cotton on the sweep. Trying to turn the corner, and he gets cut down as Billy Parker moved up from his defensive halfback spot.
Well, let's take a look at Andrew Liu. He comes up in that first rep. He comes up there, which is right about the alignment of the free safety. It's about 10 yards off the ball, maybe to 12. And then backpedals and pursues. So didn't bail out, didn't get 20, 25 yards deep, which often happens. You don't want to get anyone in behind you.
Four for Cotton, 2nd and 6. And they hand it off again inside, and Alan Michael Cash snuffs that.
And Noel Thorpe has got this defense fired up again, and my conversation with him before the game talked about, he said statistically we're kind of in the middle of the pack in a lot of categories. In fact, sometimes we're a little bit low. But he said, I think we're playing winning defense. We've got the pass rush we need. Our secondary just has to take advantage of the turnover opportunities. And here we go.
Seen this once, and Keith Sherman can't make the catch. Pass incomplete. A flag comes down. We saw this earlier this year when they did connect. Mike Renaud threw a strike. Lahu
was the formation right.
Made it a tough catch for Teague Sherman, and he couldn't bring it in.
Illegal substitution. Winnipeg number 27. Ineligible as a receiver. A sleeper play. Penalty in his line.
The old
First
sleeper
down,
play. Well, did he leave the field of play and come back?
Well, it was a substitution, and basically Sherman walked on the field when two guys came off. They had him walk off the sideline, just stand out. He did not go and report to the huddle and then come back and line up. You have to go back into the huddle, come back and line up. You can't just come off the sideline and stand there as a wideout.
Michael O'Shea in the ear of the official who made the call because they did it successfully. Now a reverse, and around the corner comes Duron Carter. Does he get a block to get outside? He does! And now Carter will step out around the 10-yard line. Well, the question was answered. Would he get a block?
Oh, did he ever?
28 yards on the run.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's S.J. Green. And S.J. Green, I usually use the arrow for receivers. I'm going to watch this, and this is the block. S.J. Green from the backside, and he gets that block that you were talking about. Carter on the reverse. Here comes Green. Here he comes. And pow, right there. Stayed up high, got in front of him, and dropped him.
So now Crumpton in the red zone again, in trouble again, and sacked again in the red zone. Greg Peach brings him down with flags flying. Was there a hold?
Holding. Montreal number 51.
It's left guard Christian Matt, so it'll be
take the play, which was a sack. They don't have to take the penalty. They take the play, which is a sack, so you get second and long either way.
Second sack of the game for the Bombers. By the way, it was DeMond Washington who was on the receiving end of the S.J. Green block.
I didn't get the number of the hitty.
Second and 18. Number 18 calls his own number. Now tries to get outside and nothing doing. He'll get wrestled down at the 15-yard line.
A lot to ask in second and 18 to get there on the quarterback draw. As maybe you have sort of a Damon Allen. And Josh Burke on that last series, like he was showing a little frustration. This has been a while now, and the issues in the red zone continue for Montreal. And saw that last graphic, one touchdown their last almost 80 possessions.
Well, they're going to give the benches the 3-minute warning as Sean White sizes up this field goal. Exactly 3 minutes remaining first half, then it's TSN at the half with Rod Schultze, Matt, and Milt. They were very optimistic before the game. I wonder if they're still as optimistic. GMC Coach's Playbook with Paul Apolice, who is here. I guess if you're a defensive guy, you're optimistic.
You know, defenses are winning across the league this year.
Here's Sean White from 23 yards out, and wow. And that kind of half.
Wow. I talked to a couple of the Alouettes, a couple of their coaches before the game about last week, and their loss, the close loss to Saskatchewan, they had opportunities for 10 early points and felt that if they missed a field goal, they had a fumble on the 10-yard line, they felt they score there, it might probably a different outcome.
Had he made it, he would have moved into the top 30 scoring all time in the CFL.
Now he did get the lace.
But from 23 out?
No, it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter from that close.
So Drew Willie gets a reprieve and finds Nick Moore. Up to the 34-yard line. He's got 9 on that first down completion.
For that catch, Drew Willie, 5 of 10 in this half for 72 yards. 2 of those plays, a 26-yarder, 31-yarder. So his passing offense has stalled a little bit for Winnipeg as well.
See if they can step up the tempo. By the way, Mike Edom is back at the safety spot as they plunge ahead for the first down.
Sometimes this can do that for you, Chris. A hurry-up situation where you want to call the plays and get that up-tempo offense going. Don't allow the defense to get too complicated or even the substitute. Willie's going to call him on the line here.
We've seen how effective he is in the fourth quarter. 2 or 3 minute drill, including the game against Montreal. He'll step up here and he decides to take off. Feet first slide over the 40 underneath Kyrus Hebert for a gain of about 4 yards.
A good decision by Hebert. I mean, he looked like he was coming up, and we know that Kyrus Hebert is a striker. He'll come up and try and hit you. I mean, it's not a tackler. He wants to go and hit people. And he did the wise thing there by jumping past Willie and just touching him on the way by.
Hebert, the former Bomber, played here in 2006 and 7. More pressure on Willie. Stands in and incomplete. Mike Edom there.
Right.
Help break it up. That would have been a tough catch for Clarence Denmark.
Good first half for Mike Edom. Here's a guy taking advantage of his opportunity, and he's right in the middle of your screen. He's got an interception in this first half. He's stepped up and made a couple of hits and gets this as he steps in front of that one. And Clarence Denmark can't hang on. Starts to feel his presence a little bit there.
Ira Lahu to punt it away, and Larry Taylor waiting at the Alouette 30. Good boot. Backs Taylor up all the way back to about his 15. Dancing around, and the cover team does its job. So the punter with a big blast of 55 yards, and at the other end, Ian Wild and company, Troy Studemeyer get down there to make a quick stop.
Good coverage by Ian Wild on that. Put Montreal in a hole. They get a quick 2 and out. Then the Bombers have a chance with decent field position to get some points here. Jonathan
not getting the plays.
Yeah, he's having problems getting the plays. They're trying to signal him out to him right now. It looks like his speaker and his helmet isn't working.
So there's time for the Alouettes, but the Bombers fans know there's also time for a 2 and out and chance to get the ball back. Cropton stands in, S.J. Green, and it's intercepted out of Green's hands, and Maurice Leggett has his 3rd interception of the year.
Wow. How did he come up with this? He sort of rolled over on it, was fighting it a little bit. First of all, it should have been a catch.
I was going to say, so was S.J. Green fighting it.
Yeah, that's a catch. But look at this.
Wow.
Rolls over his back and ends up on in his hands. Look at this.
Got it.
Wow.
And then
nice concentration.
So the Bombers right back in business, thanks to the first-year Bomber safety. This interception stat for Crompton, but hard to pin it on him.
No, that was S.J. Green. I mean, that was a little behind him, but that's a catch that S.J. Green makes 9 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times. Not that time.
So the Bombers take over at the 31. They fake it to Grigsby. Underneath it goes, and Moore. He drops the football. I think the Alouettes have got it back. as the two teams play hot potato here in the late stages of this first half.
Was that out?
Alouette football, Gerald Brown at the bottom of the pile comes up with it. And we'll wait to all these turnover plays reviewed automatically.
Gerald Brown steps up. He's guy's going to pull it out, and he ends up recovering the fumble as well.
Force and the recovery. Was a knee down? Looked like it was dislodged prior to the knee on the turf.
Well, he's still looking for his first interception of the season, but Gerald Brown's been one of the most consistent all-star halfbacks in the league over the last 6 years.
Playing in his 80th game, all CFL last year. Alouettes get the ball back, and they'll screen to Whittaker. He'll step by, well, he tried to step by Deja Dunn, but Dunn got enough of him to bring him down at the 27.
When you take a look at this first half, I would say that Jonathan Crompton has shown a little bit more than Alex Brink, who started the game, had the first quarter, really didn't move the team in that first. Crompton has shown some signs. He's run with the ball effectively, extended plays a little bit, had a couple drops, weren't his fault.
But one touchdown in 4.5 games for the Alouette offense. Here's Delorier, and Bruce Johnson will slice him down right at the first down stick.
Seems like he's making decisions a little bit quicker than Alex Brink did as well. So we're taking a look here at Jonathan Crompton starting to sort of take control of this offense a little bit. You're right. They still got to, when they get in the red zone, get inside of plus territory, Montreal Alouettes have to figure out how to put the ball in the end zone. That's been an issue that's going on for some time now. But I would say if we assess the two quarterbacks, Crompton's ahead right now.
Just the demeanor looks more confident in charge right now. But that play is a miss, as the Alouettes had a bunch of receivers well across the line of scrimmage. And was that Brodeur Jourdain or Crompton?
Montreal Alouettes have had one touchdown scored in their last 80 possessions. And that touchdown was late in the game that was already over. So therein lies the issues for Tom Higgins offensively, and you can tell by the scoreboard that both teams are struggling a little bit in this one tonight in regards to that.
I think the Bombers are getting the option, if they decline the penalty, the clock will run, or take the penalty. Let's get that confirmed from Kim Murphy.
Offside, Montreal number 19. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Clock at 47 seconds. 1st and 15. 5 receivers out. Now Whittaker released, and they look deep for Brandon London. He got in behind coverage, and a big catch down to the Winnipeg 45. On the money was Jonathan Crompton.
That just seals it. As far as who won the first half in this quarterback derby in Montreal, it's Jonathan Crompton after that throw, and it was right on the spot. I mean, put a lot of air under it so that Brandon London could go get it, and he was right down the rail, dropped it right in there with coverage coming from the over the top.
Got in behind Matt Buckner. It's a 40-yard completion at the 45 of Winnipeg. Crompton steps up, now throws complete, and the catch made again by London down at the 30-yard line. 34 seconds remaining.
Well, I like what he did there. Crompton comes up out of the pocket, and rather than just a young quarterback, often as soon as he breaks up through the pocket and decides he's going to run, he becomes a running back and tucks the ball away, becomes a running back. He ran with his eyes upfield, was able to throw on the run and move the chains again.
Looked like Delorier came open as well, so Crompton's got it going. First down, they fake the hitch, and then they try to go deep, and DeMond Washington all tied up with S.J. Green, and they're going to call it pass interference.
I think Crompton knew that coverage was good on S.J. Green, but decided to throw it up, see if his receiver could make a play.
Pass interference. Winnipeg number 7. Point of foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, no question this pass interference on Damon Washington. It's going to be sort of a combination route here. S.J. Green's going to end up here with this type of motion, and right here is Damon Washington, and it's at the top of the route where he's going to grab onto S.J. Green, tackle him from behind, basically grab him around the shoulder pads and waist.
19-yard penalty takes it to the 12. First down. Crompton, short drop, looks into the end zone and overthrows Green.
Remember, you mentioned it, Chris. S.J. Green was the guy who came around and made the block on Damon Washington. And then right there draws the pass interference call.
3 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
And it was a big block. And good to see that Damon Washington is back. Let's show you that hit one more time right there in the right of your screen. Can they punch it in and get this play done quickly?
S.J. Green with only 10 catches on the year. Crompton steps up, gets out of the grasp, and now will be brought down by the ankles, and it's Damon Washington with 2 seconds left on the clock who makes the tackle, and Sean White will have to come on for the Alouettes.
That's a big play by Washington. Bounces back from the hit and the PI call and makes an open field tackle, and it's a big play for a couple reasons. Obviously, it forces Montreal to try and kick a field goal here rather than the major, and that drought as far as majors goes will continue unless they have something on here. But Damon Washington to come off his coverage and make the tackle is a big play.
So White to just hit the upright. Looks for his second field goal of this first half. And drills that through. Alouettes 0 for 2 in the red zone, but have a 6-1 lead at halftime here in Winnipeg, trying to bump a 5-game losing streak. Let's head back to the panel. Here's Rod Smith.
It's Friday night football, yeah!
Rain starting to fall as we get set for the second half. Let's check in with Sarah Lesky and Coach Michael O'Shea.
Well, Mike, turnovers and drop balls didn't help the offenses causing that first half, but overall, what did you see as being the biggest issue?
For me, it's toughness, both mentally and physically. We got to play tougher. I mean, we're in a grind game. Both defenses are playing well. They're limiting both offenses. But we just got to come out and play tougher this half.
The mental aspect of it was something that you had talked about heading into this game, dealing with the ebbs and flows of it. Is that a concern for you?
No, I don't think it's the ebbs and flows. I just think we're not winning. We're not playing tough enough to win on each and every play. So we'll get it fixed this half.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Grind game. It has been a grind for Drew Willie and company.
I love it. I love the answer. We got to get tougher. Tougher mentally, tougher physically. Get down there in the score zone, put it in the end zone. And maybe the mental aspect most important, to win every play. Win the play in front of you and then move to the next one. A message from the head coach.
Somebody's going to end a losing streak tonight. Will it be the 2-game slide for the Bombers or a painful 5-game losing streak that Tom Higgins has been enduring? Gets set to start this second half, and Larry Taylor, tentative on the return, doesn't reach the 25-yard line. But Jonathan Crompton showed us some things in the second quarter.
Yeah, you know, he did, and that long throw to Brandon London's got to give him a little confidence coming out in this second half, that he feels like he can push the ball a little bit deeper. I still think they should not abandon the run to Brandon Whitaker. Make sure that that Winnipeg defense plays sound against the run all game long, not just the first half where they were way better and improved, as we talked about, but all game long.
So it begins at the Alouette 22-yard line. Pass for Carter, and that dangerously off his fingertips. Almost a tipped interception to start.
Take a look at some of the moments from the first half for Jonathan Crompton. Remember, Alex Brink, if you're just joining us, started the game, played the first quarter, really did not move the team. Crompton showed some signs. That wasn't his fault. S.J. Green should have caught that ball over the middle, and then he made the real nice throw, ran a little bit, made the nice throw to Brandon London.
2nd and 10. And the pass incomplete, intended for Terrell Sutton. The Alouettes had used the two-back system with greater frequency last week against Saskatchewan. Sutton has been underused tonight.
Well, that's a young quarterback. I mean, Terrell Sutton is wide open on this play. I mean, he turns around and gets the first down easy before he feels any contact. I mean, he comes out of the backfield, is absolutely wide open. And that ball just thrown too hard and too high for a tailback.
4-2 and outs and pressure. They block the punt. It's loose, scooped, and it's a touchdown. Donald Inamba. And a miserable night for Sean White continues. Looks like Derek Jones.
Yes, sir.
With the block. And Inamba picks up the touchdown.
Straight line to punter Sean White. So they'll score on the special teams. Get a major on the special teams.
Iralahu with the extra point. And very quickly, the Bombers take the lead here in the third quarter. That's winning a battle or two. First Jones with the block. And the scoop and score from Inamba. Son of former Edmonton Eskimo DB Ed Jones with the play. Derek Jones with the block punt.
He goes to the block point, Chris, not to the kicker, Sean White, and that's the difference. Rather than go to the kicker and get a roughing the kicker, he goes to the block point, right where it's going to end up being kicked, and is in perfect position. You got to practice that, and Derek Jones runs it perfectly.
Larry Taylor with the return. And a better one up to the 35. Ed Jones still in Edmonton, where he coaches minor football, the Chargers program, and he'll be charged up after the block punt by the kid.
Well, you can expect this from SFU, right? I mean, this is SFU grad, comes off the edge, and I love the fact that he is composed enough as you're going like that, as a young player, to go to the kicking point, not to the kicker. When you go to the kicker, you get in trouble, you run into him, roughing the kicker. If you don't touch the ball, it's a penalty.
Bombers had a couple of defensive touchdowns in Montreal, a special team touchdown here, and nothing doing for Brandon Whitaker.
Good teams sometimes find a way. It doesn't necessarily have to be offensively to score. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers lead the league in special team and defensive touchdowns with 5 this year. And the way the defenses are winning this year, these numbers may go up in a big way as the season goes on. I mean,
that's 3 of 5 for the Bombers against the Alouettes. Deja Dunn, Chris Randall with touchdowns in Montreal. Now it's Don Inamba. 2nd and 9, Crompton to throw, and Crompton steps up, and he'll get tripped up. Ian Wild, the middle linebacker, gets him on the ankles, and it's back-to-back 2 and outs to start this second half for the Alouettes.
Yeah, this is tackling, and this is open field tackling by Ian Wild, who is now over 500 plays this season without taking a penalty. He goes up the field, comes underneath, and makes a nice tackle.
Was it last September, the last time he drew a flag? Studemeyer on the return, and it's a good one into the open field. Troy Studemeyer. Brandon London trying to track him. And he'll wrestle him down at the 25. Horse collar tackle at the end of it. Well, he ignited the Bombers' special teams last week. He had a 61-yarder.
64 here. And Brandon London, they may tack on a couple, yeah.
Horse collar tackle. Montreal has to distance the goal. First down.
273 return yards last game for Stoudemire, and again 64 yards on a punt return as the Bombers have momentum.
Well, a couple things happen here on this return. First of all, Bedard goes down, but the man who just blocked that last punt, Derek Jones, gets a key block at the point of attack as well, holding off his man and giving Stoudemire a little bit of an alley. He hits it. You saw the trip. Nice block by Derek Jones, and away he goes.
So first the block punt for a touchdown, and now a 64-yard punt return, setting up the Bomber offense, looking for a major score. Pass into the corner, incomplete. Just out of the reach of Nick Moore. Up against Mitchell White on the corner.
Yeah, Mitchell White tries to sink underneath this a little bit, and he's got over the help top from Chip Cox.
So 2nd and 10. From the 14. Here comes pressure. Willie steps up. Will he run? He gets stuffed. Chip Cox again. What a series for the top defensive player last year in the CFL.
Yeah, he's a playmaker, and he made 2 in a row. And the first one to cover Nick Moore and have an athlete like that on your defense, that he can stop the run. We've seen him do that many times. You can see him stop the run. We see him cover Nick Moore down the field on first down, and now as a linebacker, he closes in a heartbeat on Drew Willie and shuts down a run lane.
Ira Lavu from 21 yards out. And that's off the upright and no good. That ball's dead off the upright. And we've had 2 short field goals missed. One on either side. Bombers come away empty. And yes, it has been that kind of night. Tackle hunger night here in Winnipeg, and the big crowd at Investors Group Field came equipped with food to help out and get their picture with the Grey Cup. How about that? 97,700 pounds. Salute to Bomber fans here tonight on Tackle Hunger Night in Winnipeg. Jonathan Crompton to work. Pass underneath, complete, and Kenny Stafford with a catch.
Let's take a look at that sack leaderboard and see the Saskatchewan Roughriders on top with Chip Cox, or excuse me, John Chick in Saskatchewan with 12. He's the league leader. 2-2 tonight, Winnipeg, Montreal. Greg Peach for the Bombers has his 5th on the season.
Sack tally brought to you by Purelator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check, and the 2 sacks for Winnipeg came with Montreal in the red zone tonight, so they were particularly important. 2nd and 5. Pressure from Deja Dunn. Screen to Whitaker, and he'll have a first down. Not a whole lot more. As Chris Randall stepped up from his corner position and got some help from the safety, Maurice Leggett.
You know, Jonathan Crompton has learned from that last series. Remember, we had a couple of backs out of the backfield, and they just threw the ball too hard and too hot. Well, this time he throws his screen pass nice, just kind of drops it in there for Brandon Whitaker, so he doesn't have to fight the ball. He can just take it, turn the corner, and then do what he does best.
Crompton with 2,800 yards in his senior year at Tennessee, which was at the time the 8th best total in that school's history, and they've had some quarterbacks Little hitch inside, and not much room there for Duron Carter.
It really was interesting his senior year with the Volunteers. Lane Kiffin was hired as their head coach, and he gets the start, is named the starter in that senior year, Tennessee, and they beat Georgia Bulldogs. He's the player of the week, and that really sort of solidified the fact that he was going to be their starter.
Guy by the name of Condridge Holloway still around Tennessee, and try to help point him north. 2nd and 8. Stands in, delivers, and S.J. Green has the catch up near midfield. But a quiet night for S.J. Green, and finally has his first catch.
Yeah, he needed that one. I mean, I think for a lot of reasons, they need to get S.J. Green kick-started this season. And maybe this catch, which was a tough one, because Crompton really puts a lot under this one. I mean, he throws a hard ball. And remember, there was one that fell off the hands of S.J. Green in the first half, turned into an interception.
13 touchdowns last year, just one this season, and it came against the Bombers. Into the hands of Whitaker. Good run here on first down to the Bomber 49 and close to 7.
That's just his 11th catch this year, Chris. You think about the highlight reel catches we have seen from S.J. Green. I mean, 500-yard games last year. 5. You take a look at his 1,000-yard season and 13 touchdowns. He's on pace for 378 yards. I mean, they have got to get S.J. Green kick-started. Maybe to get a catch like that.
2nd and 3. Back to Whitaker. Left side. He'll be stopped short. And now how short? And is Tom Higgins in a gambling mood?
A yard or less, and Higgins has gone for it tonight.
This looks like it could be beyond a yard. On the Bombers' side of half.
Well, Marsh just got summoned back to the sideline there quickly. Crompton staying on.
It's going to stay in.
And they're going to go for it on 3rd and about 2. You're right. Because Tanner Marsh is the short yardage guy.
They're not sneaking.
Oh, interesting. Do not like this call.
Well, they hand it off to Whitaker. Stacked up. I don't think he got it.
No, I don't think he got it. I'm not sure at all about this call, and I wanted to say it before they got it or didn't get it, because then you're not second guessing, but you're in a tight ball game. Did he get it? I don't think they got it. You're in a tight measurement.
We won't get a measurement.
Tight 2-point ball game. You've got a huge field position advantage. You can coffin corner kick it in this situation. Put your defense on the field, and they feel like they can go out there and attack. And we'll see, and they didn't get it. Not close. Not close. And now the defense, Chris, comes on the field with their heads hanging low because they're coming on the field, and they lost all that hard-earned field position on one decision. And that's why I don't like it. It's just not sound. And when coach makes decisions that are not sound, it just trickles down through the entire team. We'll see if the defense can blow their necks here a little bit.
Willie takes over, high snap, handed off to Cotton, and he gets taken down by Kyrie Sabero. Known for the highlight reel hit.
Yeah, I mentioned that Kyrie Sabero he's gonna get involved. I mean, I'm surprised we're this deep into the game, this far into the 3rd quarter, and we haven't talked about him a whole lot. I mean, he's a playmaker, gets around the football, and when he gets there, he delivers. He's a striker, not a tackler.
So 2nd and 2. Back in the hands of Cotton, a little stutter step, and he got punished. That was Gerald Brown who came up.
Now, I promise you.
Slammed the door right at midfield.
Yeah, big play by Brown. I promise you Michael Shea's going to punt the football right here.
I was going to say it's 3rd and 2, but
yeah, I promise you he punts the football here.
Punt team's out in a hurry. That's a big stop, though, by The Alouettes, Chip Cox with first contact and the punishment from Gerald Brown. That number 11's pretty good. Chip Cox. This just in.
So is Gerald Brown.
And you know you can name so many Alouettes, and it's why the record is puzzling beyond the fact that they're having trouble at the quarterback position, which I guess answers all the questions. Jonathan Crafter trying to be an answer. As he heads back on the field, Alouettes backed up and trailing by 2.
Two different coaches, two different decisions. Michael O'Shea on the left, Tom Higgins on the right. He elects to go for it on 3rd and 2 at midfield. It changed field position by probably 80 yards. Right now, the Bombers would have been starting deep in their end. Montreal starting deep in theirs because one guy decided to make the sound choice, Michael O'Shea, to punt the ball on 3rd down. Tom Higgins did not. It's so blatantly obvious when that transpired the way it did.
Well, if the punt was executed by the Alouettes, Sean White's got Winnipeg back where Montreal is going to start, which is
the field away
line.
Yeah, a field away.
Jonathan Crafton trying to kickstart this, and he's got it in the hands of Terrell Sutton. There was a little touch, and Sutton down the sidelines, and he may go. Cut off at midfield, and still going. And finally wrestled down at the 30-yard line. Terrell Sutton. Here's the completion you were looking for on the first series of the second half.
Well, they go back to the play, which is smart, and this time, again, Jonathan Crofton learns from his early mistake, and he just throws that nice, soft touch pass out. Go ahead and run it, guys, and he throws that touch pass out there to Terrell Sutton on the play action. He was open the first time as well. Now, S.J. Green's going to come back and help out with a little block right here and gets him down the sideline.
71 yards for Terrell Sutton, and they flip the field in a hurry. Crofton screens, Whitaker gets a block and is down to about the 22-yard line. So the twin back setup the Alouettes used with some success last week against Saskatchewan, looking impressive on this series.
The twin backs is also with these little screen passes to the backs. It's going to force Winnipeg to play man for two reasons. One, they're backed up in their own end all of a sudden, and two, they keep swinging it out like that against zones, they're going to have space to run. So they're going to force the Bombers into man-to-man, and that's when Duron Carter and S.J. Green come in.
Crofton has over 200 yards, 201 passing in less than a half a football. And Terrell Sutton should have the first down. Former Carolina Panther, let's take another look at his 71-yard pass and run.
You know, he's just patient with this football down the sideline, letting blocks set up, little play action, and there's the touch on the pass, so he can turn the corner. One man miss there, stays in bounds, gets the block from S.J. Green, a little bit of a block from Stafford there, and then shows the speed.
So for the fourth time tonight, Alouettes are in the red zone. 0 for 3, shovel, Sutton straight ahead and down to the 5-yard line. Another first down. Did he fumble? Bombers say they've got the football, but it looked like he was down, and we've got an injured Alouette, and it is Sutton slow to get up.
I think we're approaching 85 series without a touchdown for Montreal, so we'll see if they can stop that streak right now. Or with just one in the 85 series or 84 series. Let's take a look. First of all, see if he fumbles this ball. I think he's down by contact.
Looks like he fell on the wrist and the ball popped loose from that point.
Contact made there.
This Bomber team has a penchant for forcing fumbles. Greg Beach tried to swat it out of there.
Sutton got his arm. Yeah, he does. He gets his arm under, and then his knee touches there. He's still got possession of the football, so he's down by contact.
And he still is getting attention. But he's got the Alouettes first and goal at the 5. First the 71-yarder, and now that play of 11 yards. So Sutton's contributed 82 yards on the march.
Well, and Terrell Sutton has just bailed his head coach out in a bad decision.
Had a touchdown against Winnipeg last year. Now the challenge flag comes out from Michael O'Shea, which surprises us a little bit after taking that many looks at it, and at least from this vantage point, thinking the ball came out after the knee had touched down. But I guess first down at the 5,
yeah,
you're going to make them work for it.
Wait a minute, he's challenging the ruling on the field, the player down by contact. We will review the play.
You know, Michael O'Shea took some time to look at that and get the word from above as to whether or not to challenge it. It looked pretty clear to me that his knee was down. He still had his arm underneath the football.
Now maybe the Bombers are looking at it and saying that ball may be coming out already.
You know, it doesn't look like it to me, because look at his hand underneath the tip of the ball, which is the way you're supposed to carry it, and the knee on the turf.
And that's the way I see it. That seems to come out on contact with the turf well after the knee was down. And the verdict is quick.
After review, the ruling on the field has been confirmed by replay. The player was down by contact.
And you get the impression that was just in case.
Maybe just
with the ball
in case.
down on the 5-yard line.
And maybe based on where this drive started and the long run by Sutton, that he wanted to give his defense a bit of a rest possibly. But
so one touchdown in how many possessions?
I think it's 84 now. Starting to lose count. We'll see if they can snap the streak.
Ron Carter will waggle onto the backfield. Whitaker in behind, and he'll take it to the left side and get down to about the 2-yard line. Ryan Bombin, the right guard, signaling the bench that they're as close as the 1.
Okay, now my partner here is going to be the offensive coordinator. Did you just pound it in here on the 2-yard line?
I want to see the spot. Is it the 1 or the 2? They're spotting on the 1, so yeah, I'll take.
Okay, all right.
The 2, I changed I open up the playbook. And an injured Bomber will get attention. Hard to see who was shaken up for the Bombers on defense. That's Zach Anderson. And it's Jesse Briggs who is the injured Bomber. Rookie linebacker. And they work on his ankle. Terrell Sutton not available for another play or two. We'll get ready for an all-new season of epic action, drama, and a new Doctor. New episodes of Doctor Who return tomorrow, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Space. So Jesse Briggs being helped to the sidelines. 2nd and goal at the 1, and Tanner Marsh is in. Short yardage crew trying to punch it in. The sneak, and Marsh, does he break the plane? We got a flag down, and no signal of a touchdown.
Was that flag what it often is The defense trying to anticipate the snap count or lining up in the neutral zone.
Offside, Winnipeg defensive line. First down, Montreal.
So it'll be first and goal.
One of these Aquaman helmets is into the neutral zone.
I believe the fashion term is aquaflage.
Okay, they look like Aquaman. But, all right.
So first and goal for Tanner Marsh and company. They'll push again, and this time it's a touchdown, Montreal. Just the second offensive touchdown in 5 games for the Alouettes as they take the lead again.
Like Tanner Marsh for a second wants to go and help out his offensive line, help them up, but also maybe get that football. It's a Terrell Sutton drive for sure. A couple big plays from Sutton. No question he's in. Every scoring play reviewed, they'll take a quick look, but no question Tanner Marsh scores. So they bump the slump.
Center in the middle of all that, Luc Brodeur-Jourdain shaken up. And he's now going to get attention. 7-play drive, 100 yards. The key play was that 71-yard catch and run by Terrell Sutton.
Maybe better news for Alouettes fans is that Sutton looks okay to return to the game, because most success they've had tonight with that 2-back system with Terrell Sutton and Brandon Whitaker together.
Looking for their first road win of the year, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Unbelievably, here at 1-6, they played 1 game against a division opponent.
Yeah, been interesting schedule that way this year.
I'd like to tinker with that. I'll let you make the play calls. I'll work on the schedule.
Okay. Deal. So we're applying together for the new commissioner job? Is that what you're saying? But a big touchdown. You know, sometimes they come in bunches. You get one, you get going. It's like, it feels like there's a brick wall down there on the goal line for a while, and then you break through, and then they start happening. We'll see if that'll be the case for Montreal.
Extra point from Sean White. 5-point Alouette lead.
Well, Bell's out their head coach on an earlier decision to go for it on 3rd and 2, and Terrell Sutton takes this baby down the sideline and gets all that field position back that they lost. But it doesn't end there. Another run by Sutton. Little shovel pass. Again, number 20. And Tanner Marsh finishes it.
So a special team touchdown for Winnipeg in the second half. An offensive touchdown for the Alouettes to regain the lead in the late stages of this third quarter. See what Troy Studemeyer can set up for the Bombers offense with his latest return. 154 yards on kick returns against Toronto on kickoff returns. Starting from the 15, up over the 30, and stopped short of the 35.
Well, Drew Willie's got to get his passing game going as well. We talked off the top that he's got his starting receiving core back. That first game for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers against Toronto, and they really surprised everyone with 45 points, beat the Argonauts 45-21 that night. Boy, the ball was up in the air, and there was deep throws. That's his numbers so far.
They averaged 397 yards of offense the first 2 weeks. They've only been over 300 yards once in the following 6 games. Willie to work, wide side of the field. Denmark the catch, wrestled down by Mitchell White. Replacing the injured Chris Smith on the corner. That's a good start for the Bombers. Sets up second and less than a yard. And
take a shot here.
Yeah,
you want
a free play. The fans were looking for a penalty on that. I was wondering if they just didn't like the spot. And the fans thought maybe a horse collar. They're just going to sneak ahead, and they didn't get much of a surge there. I'm not sure.
Well, you know, I'll say this about the fans going after the officials on the call that there wasn't a penalty flag. With the flags that we've had this year and penalties up as much as they are this year, be careful what you wish for. I think if you just let them play is a better idea. And I didn't see a penalty. It looked like he pulled him down. I didn't see a horse collar, pulled him down frontwards. But they do get the first down on that surge.
In fact, the Bombers really had penalty issues the last time they played Montreal. They did survive to win, but they took 18 penalties, 180 yards. First down, Willie, wide open, Rory Collard. He's got the catch. First time we've called his number. Final play of the third quarter, and Rory Collard gets the Bombers into Montreal territory. It's a 23-yard catch as we head to the fourth quarter. Alouettes by 5. Bombers have won 3 straight against the Alouettes, 5 of the last 6, but they trail heading to the fourth quarter.
Well, Montreal dominated the time of possession statistic in that third quarter, basically 11-4. And take a look at the struggling Winnipeg offense, which is a bit of a puzzle to me because Drew Willie is the only quarterback in the league with 4 games over 300 yards passing, and after 3 quarters has 125. Now, he got one to Rory Collard there. Maybe that'll kickstart it a little bit.
Numbers we've seen from the Alouettes in recent weeks, but Jonathan Crompton putting up some good numbers in 2 quarters of football.
Now, he may just have won a starting job here tonight for the Montreal Alouettes.
So we start the fourth. First down, Winnipeg. Saw Moore crisscross there, and they hand off to Grigsby, who we didn't see in the third quarter. Got to the edge and gets pulled down after the first down. Paris Cotton got the carries when they were on offense in the third quarter. Grigsby back in a 15-yard run.
Yeah, I wanted to see the block that got Grigsby the edge here because John Bowman was fighting to get outside, and he couldn't get outside enough to cut off that wide sweep to Grigsby.
Ball on the 27.
Sorry, Chris. Glenn January.
Willie stands in, throws Moore with the catch. Over the middle, down to the 15. Another Bomber first down. Fourth catch of the game for Nick Moore.
All right, just pushes off when he's running his route. He sees Chip Cox drop into the zone coverage, and he breaks off whatever route he had there and just turns around, presents a target. That's reading the play on the fly.
Bombers ranked 4th in the league in production in the red zone. Back in there. High shotgun snap, the play action fake, a pump from Willie, and he'll throw it away. Nothing available, and Aaron Lavarius with some pressure.
Aaron Lavarius did this. He made this play. He starts out right over the nose. I mean, he's going to go there and work his way outside to cut off Drew Willie and make sure he doesn't, number one, run the football, but he takes his man, looks at play action, then he gets outside. Now he slow plays it and forces Willie to throw it out of bounds.
Second and 10. 3-man pressure from Montreal, and they get to Willie, who dishes it off, and Fioli Godino not going anywhere. Chip Cox makes the play.
Interesting formation here defensively for Montreal. They line up with just 3 down linemen. They don't end up sending 3, though. And I think Willie probably initially thought, I've got more time, and then it broke down quicker than he felt it would because there was actually a 4-man rush and Chip Cox rallies.
Gabriel Napton had him in the grasp, but Willie got the pass away. Hairolahu to attempt a short field goal, 22 yards out to cut into this lead. Puts it through, and now it's the Alouettes by 2. 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. Alouettes lead is cut. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Another one of those defensive battles.
I got a feeling. S.J. Green's going to be a difference maker as this game goes on.
Look at those numbers for Jonathan Crompton. That's starting the game at the outset of the second quarter, and a drop pass here. Kenny Stafford unable to bring that in.
You play against this Bomber defense and you throw it anywhere intermediate or deep. Maurice Leggett isn't far away from the ball, and he almost had this one again. Again, a throw that should have been caught through the hands, and that's Leggett.
So that's 14 for 20 with 2 drops and a pass to Sutton. Little dump pass that he should have connected on. He's been good trying to convert here, and not as good on that pass as Ron Carter turned out of his break, and the ball was over the wrong shoulder, incomplete.
Well, he made the right read. This is why you see all the body English and the reaction from Jonathan Crompton, because it was full blitz coming from Winnipeg. He had the one-on-one, and he knew he had the out route here to Deron Carter. Carter make that little head fake, but it was just the accuracy of the throw wasn't there, and he knows it. Right read, right guy to throw to, just didn't put it there.
6-2 and out. Alouettes had 3 in the first quarter. Stoudemire flags it down and gets level. Big hit once again. And that one supplied by Nicholas Boulay, who's been a demon tonight on the teams. Two-point game, fourth quarter. Let's check back in with our coach, Paul LaPolice.
Last drive, Drew Willie did a great thing. He saw zone coverage with the field corner playing off and deep. Every time he saw it, he threw the ball on the outside. He's done a great job of that, attacking that coverage all night. Let him down, put them in a great position to make plays.
The corner on the deep coverage is basically called a cover 3 zone deep coverage, which means 3 people deep, taking a third of the field, and the soft spot can be at that wide field, like Coach mentioned.
Double tight end, they hand it off, and Grigsby with a burst. Kyrie Sever the tackle at the second level, and that should be a first down.
It's a good hard-earned run here from Nick Grigsby because he's going against this guy right here, Kyrus Bear, number 34, and Bear Woods right up in there as well. Steps outside the hole.
11 yards and a first down, so they stay in the double tight end formation as Fitzgerald and Pombreon flank the offensive line. A pump and a go down that sideline, and the catch is made. Clarence Denmark comes up with it. Isolated on Mitchell White, the new corner.
Not the zone defense that Coach talked about, but it's a man's concept, and the man concept on a double move works to perfection. On Mitchell White, see, he runs that little stutter step, breaks like he's going to run an out route, forces Mitchell White to chop his feet, and then he turns the corner and Willie puts it up there for him to go get it.
Third catch for Denmark. Willie's got them down into the red zone once again. Fakes to Cotton. He'll take off with it. Looked like he had the option to go to Clarence Denmark, but he elected to hold the football.
Well, Michael Klassen, he went with the play fake here, but he got down quickly, and that was a wise decision. Live to get to second down.
Now a big play call, 2nd and 5. Grigsby Weigel's out, so they empty the backfield. 6 receivers for Willie. Standing in, pressure on, and he is dropped. Taken down by Klassen this time. Michael Klassen has his 3rd sack of the year, his 2nd against the Bombers.
Looked like a coverage sack to me. Willie was looking to his left, and he wanted to go into that zone defense. And this is what Coach LaPolice was talking about. Watch the secondary drop into this zone defense. Now Willie wants to get into that short side of the field, but hold it right here. One guy plays both this one and doesn't allow that throw. Willie has to pull it down. He doesn't want to throw a pick in the plus territory, and they have to kick a field goal.
23-yarder, Hairolahu gives the Bombers the lead. 14-13 with just over 9 minutes left in Winnipeg. Wendy's Friday Night Football is brought to you by Wendy's Pretzel Bacon Cheeseburger and Pretzel Pub Chicken. Back for a limited time. Wendy's. Now that's better.
Successful drive for the Bombers. You know, they take the lead on the field goal. Could have had the major if not for great defensive play from Jeff Tisdale.
So Jonathan Crompton to work, starting at the 35. Takes the handoff on a roll, and an open man is S.J. Green with the catch at the Winnipeg 51-yard line.
First of all, it starts with the play action to get Jonathan Crompton a chance to get outside, and then it does cut the field down, but when he can get outside and roll like this, now he's got a chance to either have the option to run it or pass it. He gets out and around the edge. Nice blocks in front of him. Finds S.J. Green down the sideline. He had to get down there to get it, though. He wanted it up so he could turn and run with it.
24 on the 2nd catch of the night for S.J. Green. Now they hand it off inside, and not much there.
Let's go back to that Jeff Tisdale play in the end zone, because this is a veteran corner playing 2 guys. Here they are. It's going to be Clarence Denmark and Nick Moore. Go ahead and run it. He's on the corner up top here, and he's the outside 3rd player in a 3-deep zone. Now stop it here. He's got the 2-way go. He's got this player and this player because he's covering an area on the field. There's a guy in the middle and a guy to the wide side. Takes 2 players. No throw for Willie. They settle for the field goal. Now they take the lead, but it could have been a touchdown.
All CFL last year on the corner for Montreal. Jeff Tisdale. 2nd down. Crompton stands in. S.J. Green. I believe you mentioned that he might be a factor here in the fourth quarter. Third catch.
Well, here's why, Chris. I mean, I watched him tonight, and I watched him make 2 or 3 big blocks for teammates carrying the football. That tells me that he's buying in and he's working hard, even though he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Usually, when you see players do that, at the skill level of an SJ Green, it'll come around where they'll start seeing the football and getting paid back for all that hard work when they didn't have it.
More what we expect from number 19. Here's Sutton again with the catch. Brought down by the middle linebacker Ian Wild at the 22. That's the third catch of the night for Terrell Sutton. Now at 91 yards.
Sorry, Chris. I just watched Jonathan Crompton and Terrell Sutton talk back and forth all the way back, and it looked to me like Sutton was saying to Crompton, thanks for the softer throws. He almost was sort of mimicking the... Yeah, there you go. We got it on the right track.
How about the Ricky Ray pillow?
Yeah, exactly.
2nd and 2. And they're going to plunge ahead with Tanner Marsh, and decent surge to get it. Past the 20 and now into the red zone. These two teams tonight combined 1 touchdown in 7 previous trips inside the 20.
Now it's about good decisions down here for Crompton. He's in a position to take the lead with a field goal. At the worst case scenario, they've struggled in the red zone, but young quarterbacks sometimes want to force things down here and try and throw it through someone for a touchdown.
Receivers out, they fake to Whitaker, and Crompton going to step up.
Good decision.
And he'll dive down to the 15 and gets about 5.
That's a good decision. That's what I'm talking about. He wanted to go with the double move to SJ Green. He was well covered. He looked at him, took it down quickly, got what he could, positive yards. I asked Jeff Garcia about his quarterbacks and what's the number one thing you're trying to teach him early. He said, make good decisions, especially in the red zone. That's what he told me.
What's on that chart for 2nd and 5? At the opponent's 15-yard line. Pumps, pulls it down, and he's going to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. But once again, that defense stiffens, and it's Jake Thomas with the tackle.
Jonathan Crompton makes another good decision here. And I'm going to show you the coverage. I believe he wants to go outside here, or maybe SJ Green. Watch how well covered they are as this play develops. Now, SJ Green tries to run the out. Hold it there. Covered. You look up top, believe that's Deron Carter. Blanket covered. 2 guys over the middle seam. There's no place to throw the football. Another receiver falls down in the middle. He takes it down, puts it under his arm, put the field goal team out there to take the lead. Good decision.
Sean White to kick Montreal back in the lead from 22 yards out. One of these kickers is really going to lament the field goal attempt off the upright tonight. Both have done that, and White is good here to put the Alouettes back on top. Well, the Kraft Celebration Tour and Sports Center continue their cross-Canada journey, visiting this year's top 10 winning communities. Stop number 9 sees Nabil and Jen hitting the stage in Gander, Newfoundland. Live coverage gets underway tomorrow at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on TSN2. Also watch live on tsn.ca and TSN Go. So 16-14 with 4:18 to go. Lots can still happen here.
Oh, yeah.
In what has not been a classic, but
interesting
is becoming an interesting chess match, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've seen some interesting calls, some gambles, some big runs. There have been some big plays, defensive plays, an unbelievable interception by Maurice Leggett.
Maybe the emergence of the next Alouette starting quarterback.
Yes, absolutely.
Short kick by White. Studemeyer from his 17.
He wants the edge.
And got it across the 35. Mike Edom downfield along with Napton to bring him down. It's not at the 2-minute or 3-minute warning or 2-minute drill time yet for Drew Willie, but we've seen him twice this year orchestrate game-winning touchdown drives down to the wire in one game against the Bombers. Or against the Alouettes, excuse me.
And one against Hamilton, in Hamilton.
Perfect scenario would be a 4-minute touchdown drive here, wouldn't it? If you're Drew Willie and Nick Moore can't make that catch.
Well, they'll share the responsibilities for that drop in the 2nd and 10 because the ball's thrown high. And again, I've mentioned before that this is a tougher throw to make than it looks. You just don't have a very big target. But you see how Nick Moore took his eyes off the ball to try and run before he secured it. I think he thought he could crawl that in fairly easily and underestimated how high it was a little bit.
His pay stub tells you that he's got to make that catch nonetheless.
Yeah, you're right.
It's 2nd and 10. Over the middle and an open receiver. And Corey Watson has a big first down in the Montreal territory. Montreal product.
Now, interesting little rotation here as Mike Edom, the safety, is going to line up in the line of scrimmage and basically tell Drew Willie that I've left the middle. Now, they do rotate Chip Cox back there late, but he gets there late on this sort of show blitz and drop defense. The middle still big void in there.
21 for Watson. First down Winnipeg at the Alouette 53. Underneath, dropped off. And the catch made by Grigsby. As we hit the 3-minute warning. 2-point game. Bombers have the football when we come back. On Monday, experience Grand Slam tennis in a whole new way. Choose from 4 TSN feeds to watch multiple matches all at once, including more of the Canadians you love. Live multi-court coverage begins Monday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific across 4 TSN feeds, which means I need new batteries in my remote.
Get that jump button. Just jump back and forth.
2nd and 5. Drew Willie over the middle, and the pass incomplete. Billy Parker against Aaron Kelly. And Glenn January slow to get up. 3rd down, decision time. Or is there any reason to decide? He's taking a while. He's going to challenge. I wondered about this. Was Billy Parker there too quickly? And Michael O'Shea's going to challenge.
Well, here's the matchup, and there's Billy Parker. Let's take a look. Again. Inside break.
Clanging around a little bit. Is that enough contact?
Defensive pass interference on the play. We will review the play.
Well, we've been here a few times in the last few games, and I'll repeat what I've said about the way that this has gone for reviewing pass interference. That if there's no flag on the play and a play is challenged, a PI has been challenged. They, for the most part, I would say all but one call, you have to really see a blatant pass interference to overturn and win this challenge for Michael O'Shea. And I mean, this is about as good a look as you'll get. There's your 2 principles. It's a slant route. There's no sort of hit. There's some hand fighting, kind of back and forth. No real grab there. Again, the officials are letting guys play one, and when they review, they need to see a blatant pass interference to overturn the call on the field. I'm not sure I see that here. A little bit of
angle,
a little bit of contact. Push off. You can see Parker never grabs with the right hand.
After review, we have pass interference. The 10-yard penalty on that
So that breaks precedent. And I think
Winnipeg will retain their timeout. I repeat, Winnipeg will retain their
and I think, you know, Tom Higgins has sort of a right to be surprised by that. You know, not great call by O'Shea to do it, to take a look. I mean, in this game with that on the second down play, why not take a look at it? But that goes against the precedent that's been set. That wasn't a blatant penalty by any means.
Michael O'Shea has had the touch with this, even though he doesn't like the availability.
He's won 3 times, I think.
He has won 3 times. And you made a good point in the first quarter. I thought there was one that was challengeable, and you made the good point that at that point in the game, for a small play, it wasn't worth it. He saved it for a critical time to avoid getting down to their last down. Now a handoff, and Grigsby's got a lot of room. Mike Edom, the safety, drags him down, but that's a first down run for Nick Grigsby, his second of this fourth quarter.
We've got look like Patrick Neufeld is down and grabbing his left leg on the play.
Bombers can ill afford another injury on that offensive line.
He is. Looks like he's up against Bear Woods there. Oh, he looked like just as he came out of his stance, he was limping. Yeah, something happened as he came out of his stance there before he even made contact.
Grigsby's 7th carry of the night, 38 yards. Just back to that PI call. We were a little surprised at one last week that went against the Bombers. Matt Buckner was challenged on a PI by Scott Milanovich and won the challenge. And we thought that one broke the precedent, so maybe they're clamping down. Maybe there's a message that they're going to call it a little bit tighter.
It's going to defeat the purpose. I mean, the purpose of it is to show the consistency and to say that, you know, we're not going to call on review pass interference too tight, because you're going to see little bits of contact on every play, and that will, you know, just sort of play right into the hands of those who don't like this idea of reviewing judgment calls. And I would agree that as long as what just happened continues to happen, where small sort of incidental hand fighting is starting to get called, there'll be more and more people say we don't like this rule change, and guaranteed they'll review it and discuss it in the offseason.
Matthias Gosen comes in, the rookie out of Simon Fraser for Neufeld. At right guard, flag down, and another big run for Grigsby. Busts it, touchdown. Let's check the flag. Drew Willie says it's going against the Alouettes.
Steve Morley, key block.
Mike Edom offside, and the 26-yard touchdown run for the rushing leader will stand.
Finds a hole. It opens up, and he accelerates on the cutback on Bear Woods.
So a 4-point lead. Now it's 5. Nick Grigsby's 6th touchdown of the year on the ground, his 7th overall, and the first offensive touchdown of the night for the Bombers.
2 big blocks here. Matthias Gosen, he's going to get one. He's in, and he's going to get a seal block, and Morley's going to get a block on Bear Woods here. It opens up the lane for Nick Grigsby. So here comes that seal. You get it right there. Now Morley on the middle linebacker. Center and guard, getting down the field, run blocking, untouched Nick Grigsby. Hits the hole, accelerates, and no one near him.
We saw Paris Cotton in the third quarter. Grigsby comes back with a vengeance in the fourth. 6-play, 74-yard drive, and the rookie who came in to help Brigham gets a pat the back from Bob Wiley on the bench. Bosun gets a little check mark.
Yes, he does. So did Glenn January, and the guys up front got it done.
This one's far from over, though. Over 2 minutes to go, and Larry Taylor trying to give Jonathan Crompton better field position.
You want to solidify a starting quarterback job? You get the ball in your end of the field with 2 minutes to go in hostile territory, and you drive the field for a major. That's how you win a starting job for sure. Not that Jonathan Crompton hasn't already done that.
And if you joined us late, those numbers for Crompton started with the outset of the second quarter. Alex Brink played the first. But Crompton hasn't heard it this loud yet tonight. He'll have to deal with it now. Fakes to Whitaker. He wants to unload for Deron Carter. Up for grabs and batted down. Chris Randall, the defensive play, and we might get a challenge here.
Yeah, we might. Chris Randall.
Was tight.
Yeah, it was. Now, Chris Randall had his arm around the back of Deron Carter. Based on the hand fighting from the last one that was overturned, I'm surprised Tom Higgins doesn't challenge that.
Reached down into the pocket, but apparently not going to. Don't know if there's a downside of a challenge there. Over the middle, and that's incomplete. Attempt for Green. It's picked off. It's Maurice Leggett taking it back the other way. His second interception of the game.
And now
they're going to challenge that.
Tom Higgins has now thrown his challenge flag a play late.
And this is a desperation challenge now. Although S.J. Green did have a defender on his back. But I'm really surprised he didn't challenge one play earlier.
Well, I think you had to there. I mean, maybe Higgins did not get the cue from upstairs to do that, to throw the challenge flag in time, and didn't see it on the replay monitor in-house here.
Montreal is challenging that there was defensive pass interference on the play. We will review the play.
We'll take a look. This is another interception through the hands of a receiver. Tough to tell when the contact was from that angle.
That's Bruce Johnson, the defender.
Yeah, those are the two looks that we have. Here's one more. The game angle. And again, and I'm not sure if there's any evidence there. There was way more evidence on that previous play that you may have won a challenge.
Now, considering the one that was called against Montreal, is that enough to keep the Alouette offense on the field?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, based on the hand fighting that was overturned and called on that call, the previous one, you look at this situation and
there's insufficient evidence.
Yeah, it is.
Overturn the call on the field.
That's what I was going to say. The evidence is different.
After the play, we have a dead little call on Montreal number 19. The 10-yard penalty. First down.
So tack on 10 yards for S.J. Green, showing his frustration.
Well, I'm just surprised that the play before, you could see Deron Carter in coverage with Chris Randall, and all kinds of contact as they're wrestling before the ball arrives.
With all that and considering the field position.
Yeah, and the hand fighting that was overturned on the last call. I think you throw in the challenge flag automatically there. Crompton wanted it.
In fact, he could have been penalized for showing that he wanted that challenge or the flag. So Drew Willie now, first and goal. Grigsby trying to kick it outside. Thought about reversing field and ends up losing yardage. Wisely stays in bounds, though, to make sure that clock doesn't stop.
Stayed in bounds, and
Alouettes have to make the Bombers settle for a field goal, and that will keep it within reach of a touchdown and a two-point convert.
We'll run down the full 20 here before snapping the ball.
Second and goal. Grigsby to the right side with a cutback down around the 9. Minute 15 to go. So the Alouettes are going to get the ball back with just under a minute left and still some life. But there was a lot of debate last week in Saskatchewan. First about not going for 2 with 3 minutes to go, and then going 3rd and 4 with just under 2 minutes remaining. There will be debate tonight about what PI was challenged. Field goal is good. It's an 8-point Winnipeg lead. And 53 seconds for Jonathan Crompton to change it. Ten points off turnovers tonight for the Bombers. They had only 7 points off turnovers in the previous 3 weeks.
Same scenario for Jonathan Crompton, except for less time, about the same amount of yards that he has to get to the end zone, and now he has to make another play even if he does get to the end zone on a 2-point convert.
No one in the league's converted a 2-point convert this year. Offense is 0 for 10, but that's a concern for later. Sideline pass, and Demont Washington. Quick close on S.J. Green, and nearly had another interception. Boy, that Demont Washington's one tough operator to take the block he did in the first half and
bounce back.
Miss a beat.
Bounce back big in a big way. Jumped up from the block too.
2nd and 10. Pressure on, dumps it off underneath, and they get 4, but that's all. It's 3rd and 6. Ian Wild on the stop. And down to one more play for the Alouettes to try and stay alive.
Way that's worked for him is getting Whitaker out of the backfield. That would work here to move the chains, but the clock's an enemy as well.
Reset the clock. There be 42 on the clock. 42 on the clock, please.
Trying to hold the play to reset and add 2 seconds to the time clock.
They need to get to the 45. Pass is incomplete, intercepted. Maurice Leggett's got another. 3rd of the night, and he might take this back. Flag comes down to wipe out the touchdown. Jonathan Crompton was tackled, but Maurice Leggett's had quite a night. 2 late interceptions, 3 on the night, 5 on the year for the first-year Bomber safety.
Yeah, you overthrow anywhere in that intermediate.
After the interception, holding Winnipeg number 92. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Brian Turner's hold takes the touchdown off the board, but this one just about sealed now.
Intermediate to deep in his area. That ball's got to be right on. And we've seen now, is that the 3rd time that a receiver has had his hands on the ball for Montreal, not made the catch. There's the tackle, and it tips out of his hands into a Bomber defensive back.
Bombers go into victory formation. They'll move to 3-2 at home, 6-3 in the first half of their season. And the reaction of the coach as the losing streak is now 6.
Well, there'll be a couple of calls questioned this week again.
Next week at home against Ottawa and then Hamilton. So a couple of Eastern games for the Alouettes coming up. One more snap of the football here before this is official. And now it's in the books. 24-16 as Michael O'Shea's crew salutes the fans here at Investors Group Field and snaps their 2-game losing streak. 6 straight losses for the Alouettes. 24-16 the final. So long from the Peg. Sports Center is now